Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Jaguar Jerk. So, I am your host, the Jaguar Jerk. A little bit about myself, I'm not going to give them much information, except for I like the Atari Jaguar. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I guess I could say I'm sorry for the bad quality of probably sound and video. I don't have the money to afford anything like that yet, but maybe eventually, who knows where this might take me, right? It'd be cool if I get somewhere where I can make a living out of this, because I'm sure, as you can see behind me over there, I don't just have the Atari Jaguar. I've got a huge collection of various games. So, but the Jaguar is probably my favorite. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. So that's what we're going to be speaking about today, is this bad boy right here. Don't mind my cartridge of Doom sitting in the system. That is because the Atari Jaguar, allow me to present here instead of just talking about it. I should show. It doesn't have a dust tray, so I have to keep a game in there so that it doesn't collect cat hair, which it already has somehow, even though there was a game in there. I know it's not good to keep a game in the system, but I don't really have a choice. It's either that or I throw some duct tape over the top of this bad boy, and I prefer to just keep a game because it looks cool. Kind of looks nice with the Doom cartridge in there. So I figure for this first video, we're not gonna play any of the games. That's in this channel. I'm gonna play basically all the games that I have in my catalog. And I'll show you those later on in the video, the games that I have in my catalog so far. I'm actively trying to buy more games. I want to have all of the Jaguar collection. And I'd like to make a video on each Jaguar game, reviewing them and playing them. A little gameplay footage would be kind of fun. But, that's going to take a while because they're really hard to find games. And I like to have them all in the box. That's my thing. But, yeah. I think the Jaguars is a really interesting system. It's got a really cool story behind it, but the system sucks dick. Let's put it that way. This thing's a hunk of fucking junk. It's a piece of shit. And this little bad boy right here, just in case any of you guys don't know, good old-fashioned AV input on this bad boy, because she takes RF, not AV, but it's got a little port in here. So you just plug that bad boy in, like that. And now you can have AV cables in there, which is great because, I'd prefer to use AV. So I'm going to keep this bad boy right in my lap. I know you can't see it, but it's going to be in my lap this whole time. If none of you guys are familiar with the Atari Jaguar, I'm going to be touching on the story of it here in a bit of the Atari Jaguar. As for the Atari Jaguar nerds that are watching this, we'll get to the game reviews later on in the channel. I will show you what games I have in my catalog later on, so that you can see what games I will be playing later on down the road. And again, I apologize for the bad footage that's going to come with those. I can't really record anything off of a screen. If anybody in the comments wants to leave ideas for how I can actually put game footage in there, that'd be great. But I think what I'm going to do for the first few is basically just use my phone to record the footage on the TV. I got a decent enough phone, so it should probably work. In theory, right? I mean, who knows? We'll see. Yeah, so I guess we should probably touch on the story for the Atari Jaguar here. So allow me to grab a controller real quick, because there's probably some people that this one. So there's probably some people in the chat that have, or in this video that are watching, that have never seen the Atari Jaguar. So you saw the system. There's the controller right there. Some little keypads down here. 3-button system with an. It's actually not the worst feeling controller out of all of the systems I've played. It actually is pretty decent. It's all right. Nice and clicky, which I like. This bad boy is crisp too. While I wrap this fucking cable up here, I'll talk about Jaguar a bit, I guess. Well, actually, no, I can't talk about it while I'm fucking wrapping the cable up because I have all my notes on the computer here. Because, you know, I might be the Jaguar jerk, but I don't know everything off the top of my head about the Atari Jaguar, so give me a sec. Alright. So, back to the Atari Jaguar. So this bad boy right here. Let's go ahead and just touch on the story. Let's get the story arc prepped for the Atari Jaguar, so that way later on down the road you guys can fully understand the shit fest that this bad boy is. This absolute fucking rocket ship right here. This toilet, if you will. So it was made by the Atari Corporation, of course. The Atari Jaguar was made by Atari in November of 1993. So it's a pretty old fucking system. You know, it's from the 90s. It's a 5th generation system, but it was competing with the 4th gen, I believe. Yeah, it was competing with 4th gen because it was competing with SNES and that line of systems. It runs on a Motorola 68000 CPU and 2 custom-built 32-bit processors, combining for a total of what they said in their... Oh, excuse me. It's how much malarkey. That fucking malarkey is making me burp here. That bullshit fest is making me burp. That they said in the commercials makes it a 64-bit system. This hunk of junk was supposedly the first 64-bit system to ever exist. Which is a load of baloney, by the way. Because compare this piece of shit to the Nintendo 64, and Nintendo 64 blows it out of the fucking water. This thing sucks dick. There's like 2 good games I've played on this thing so far. I mean, granted, I've only got I think 15 of the games out of the 50 that are complete. Yeah, that's right. The complete collection of these is 50. 50 fucking games for this system, which is insane. That's it. That's all you get is 50 games. Yeah, so it's a 64-bit processor, which is a fucking absolute amalgamation of jargon. It's bullshit. Everybody knew that right off the bat too. They were like, "That's not 64-bit." They looked at the games. They were like, "That's not 64-bit. No." And their fucking slogan for this hunk of shit was "Do the math," because they were trying to compare it to 32-bit. Oh, 32-bit systems, 16-bit systems. The old AVGN thing. 64-bit, 32-bit. But that's how it actually was. They were comparing this shit to the fucking good systems like the SNES and all that. And it's yeah, maybe by technical standards it's technically 64-bit by some weird math, but it doesn't actually play 64-bit games. The games aren't 64-bit. And that's so it was made this system. The issue with it was that the game devs, couldn't code games onto it. That's why there's only 50 games for it. Besides the Jaguar CD add-on, which we'll get onto later. There's only 50 games for this piece of shit, because game developers found it almost impossible to make a game for their, double 32-bit core processor unit system that supposedly could run 64-bit. They couldn't do it. It was too early. They can make 64-bit games for this system now, but back then they didn't have the tech for it. It was a bit ahead of its time. That's one little piece of praise I gotta give to this piece of shit. It's a little bit ahead of its time. Nowadays, yeah, you can do some shit with this probably. You can play a few games. It can't run no Mario 64, but it can maybe play an almost 64-bit. Get a 62-bit system in here, But anyway, so it came out after the cancellation of Atari's system predecessor they were working on called the Panther. They liked, for some reason, naming their shit after cats. They got to that point where they started naming after cats, the Lynx, the Panther, the fucking Jaguar. I'm sure they would have after this come up with some shit the house cat, the Siamese, some shit like that. The tiger. Oh wait, the fucking tiger already exists. I have it back there. The tiger Game Con. The piece of shit that is.
which maybe we'll touch on that later on in the series of video game reviews. Who knows? But anyway. So this system did have a Jaguar CD add-on, which I am very tempted to buy because like 30 minutes away from where I am, there is a store that has a Jaguar CD for like $700. So, hey, maybe someday, right? Maybe I'll buy one. $700 is a lot of fucking money though. That's a lot. For a piece of shit that sometimes doesn't even work. That's the thing with the Jaguar CD. And even with the Atari Jaguar itself, is that sometimes they don't work. They just don't feel like... I've had issues with this system right here where it just randomly doesn't feel like playing a game. And I'm like, okay, weird. It just does that. And then other times it's fine. It's the weirdest shit. Yeah, the Jaguar CD unit is an even bigger pile of shit that they tried to make to compete with like CD unit systems. And it failed miserably, of course, just like the Jaguar itself. A giant fucking cesspool of shit. It just failed. The Jaguar CD unit only added on 13 more games. So in total, the Jaguar plus Jaguar CD unit only made 63 games. To put in comparison, there's like, I think like, like 700 NES games or some shit like that. That's insane. This piece of shit had less games than like the fucking 3DO. And the 3DO sucked fuck. And this thing had like less games than that. What the fuck? So yeah, obviously this piece of shit failed. Especially once PlayStation and the Sega Saturn came onto the scene. This thing just gone. Like they were literally clearance items in Walmart for like $20. The fucking Jaguar CD unit was getting sold for like $50 in clearance. Like, they just literally were just liquidating. They were like, just get rid of it. We'll make any profit we can. Just get them out. If only people bought more of those today because, you know, they're worth, like... The fucking Jaguar in the box is worth, like, fucking $1,000 if it's sealed. The Jaguar CD unit is, like, $3,000 sealed. Like, that's fucking insane. But, so Atari abandons this system right here in about 1996, and that's when they started liquidating and turning to clearance items, which... understandable. They were just trying to make as much profit as they could off of this piece of shit because it sucked dick. And because of this fucking cesspool that is the Jaguar, this absolute abhorrent piece of shit, Atari had to leave the console market. That's right, after this piece of fucking shit right here, Atari had to leave the market. One of the greatest video game companies, by the way. They literally, like, started video gaming. The fucking 2600 was revolutionary. They basically kickstarted video gaming. They fucked up when they made E.T., but they came back and everything worked out fine. But still, Atari was huge. And this piece of shit right here ruined them. One of the first video game companies to ever exist, and this is what ruined them. That is crazy. That's absolute fucking crazy work. So that's about it for the Jaguar CD unit. There's a lot more lore I can go into with them. But, like, if you want to know the lore, you could just, like, Google it. You know, I mean, that is honestly what I did for all this information anyways. I just Googled. It's not like I knew all this shit right off the bat. I just own the system. And I've played all the games that I have. Which is what we're going to get to next. So I'm going to set this junk down. You know, free my hands of shit, if you will. I should probably put on, like, hand sanitizer after touching this fucking load of shit right here. Like, honestly, it's like playing with horse shit. So let's go ahead and grab these games, and I'll show you them. Alright. So let's start with all the loose games. So here's my stack of loose games, right? This is it. Let me close out of this notes tab that I have. These are all the loose games that I have. Okay? These are, except for the Doom, which is in the system that you saw. So, we have Cybermorph, which was the pack-in title for the Atari Jaguar. This game sucks, to put it bluntly. It sucks. We'll review it, of course, because I'm going to review every single Jaguar game that I own, because that's what this channel's about. We're going to review them all, don't worry. Cat just fucking sneezed on my leg a bit there, but we're good. She's fucking staring at me. More recent one that I have right here, Dino Dudes. I haven't actually played this one because I recently got this, so this will be a new adventure for all of us at home. This one right here, Iron Soldier. Yeah, kind of cool. You know, this is actually one that's not garbage. It's an alright game. Yeah, it definitely would have been better on any other fucking system than the Jaguar. Like if they released it on PlayStation, would be cool. Kasumi Ninja. Need I say more? I'm sure anybody that has played the Atari Jaguar is seeing this game right here and having like PTSD flashbacks. This game right here, it's a stinker. It's a real stinker. That episode's gonna go crazy. It's a stinker, alright. It's a fucking stinker. Raiden. This one, it's okay. It's alright. You know, it's a solid title. This was one of their bigger titles for the system. Like, this was one of their bigger deals, was Raiden. Now, I own, sadly I own it. Because, you know, it's not good. I don't think, at least. I've heard some reviews about it saying it's good, but I didn't like it very much. Apparently, it's a really obscure, kind of hard-to-find game. Trevor McFur in the Crescent Moon. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there. What a weird fucking title. Trevor McFur in the Crescent Moon. Oh, no, sorry. Crescent Galaxy. Sorry. Crescent Galaxy. Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy. What the fuck? And look at the fucking title card here. It's more blurry than, like, the camera isn't, like, fucking up here. I'm gonna be honest with you. The camera's not fucking that up. That's actually how blurry it is in person. It looks like they printed, like, it looks like a fake game, but it's not. Look, it's licensed and everything. This is a legit fucking game. You can, like, I've done my research on this because I thought it was fake. No, they just look like shit. It's like a fucking kindergartner printed it out and slapped it on here with fucking Elmer's glue. That's what it looks like. It's almost as bad as the fucking Nintendo World Championship cartridge with the shitty little fucking logo, the paper cutout triangle with Elmer's glue. It's like that. Except this is a coveted prize for the fucking Jaguar, apparently. It's a piece of shit is what it is. It's a coveted piece of fuck. Like, it's horrible. So that's all the loose games besides Doom, which, need I say more than Doom? It's Doom. You know, it's actually one of the better ports of Doom, weirdly enough. So let's get into the boxed games that I have. Complete and boxed, by the way. So let's go ahead and grab these. Oh my gosh. Look at this fucking stack. Look at this. I have an addiction, right guys? I have an addiction. An absolute fucking problem is what this is. So let's go ahead and start off, right? Zool 2. I mean, I'm going to cover this up because that's kind of like information that you guys don't need to see. Zool 2. Complete in the box. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy that I own this because this game is actually kind of fucking solid. It's actually not bad. Like, this is one of the games that I've played on here, and I've said, like, it's honestly could be worse. And it could be worse as I pull out one of the worst games I've played. White Men Can't Jump. Sorry for the fucking glare. It's because these are in, like, a plastic sleeve. I probably should have taken them out of the... I could just take them out of the plastic sleeve. And that you know, I'm so smart, aren't I, guys? You know... Fucking, I'm just the greatest in fucking modern day science, of course. There we go. Okay, there's still a bit of a glare because the box is just shiny. But, like, look at that beauty. Look at that. Look at this shit. Like, this... I don't mean to be that guy, but, like, this gotta be a little racist, right? I mean, I know it's based on a movie and shit. But how the fuck did they make a game out of it? The movie sucked as is. The movie was a piece of shit. And then they make a shitty game off of the shitty movie. How did they get away with any of this? The 90s must have been different, man. I wasn't alive back then, obviously, as you can probably fucking tell by how I look. I wasn't around back then. But, like, it must have been wild. Like, the shit that they got away with in some of these things is insane. Now, here's another game that I actually have not played on the Jaguar. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that. Valdisiri Skiing and Snowboarding. I like the box like look for this. It looks so fucking 90s-ish, and I love it. I think it's great, you know? Look at that. It's beautiful. Your average run-of-the-mill skiing and snowboarding game. And again, as I stated, I will be playing all of these games later on in reviews. I'm just showing them off right now just to give you guys some, you know, some clarity as to what this channel will be about and what I have. The shit that I'm hoarding, basically. And these are all complete in box. This, Pinball Fantasies, actually a pretty good game. I enjoyed it. And these are all complete in box. I have the games, the manuals, all that. I mean, this one is one of the weird titles because it doesn't have Atari on the back. Like, Atari didn't license this one. It was made by 21st Century. Like, their games and shit. So, it's good, though. It's just your run-of-the-mill pinball game. It would have been, again, I think AVGN said it best when he said it would literally be better on any other fucking system, though. Like, slap this on something else. It would be great. Flip Out. This might be a little controversial. This is one of their first games, as you can tell by the logo looking a little different. This is one of their first titles they released for the Jaguar. This might be a little controversial, because I've heard some people enjoy this game. Like, it's a puzzle game, and some people say it's fun. I fucking hated it. I actually fucking hated this game. This game actually I almost wanted to burn this. I thought it was a piece of fucking shit. The game sucked, in my opinion. And that might be a hot take. But I just thought the controls for it and the fucking puzzling was just stupid. But I'm willing to give it another shot. Because that was like a year ago when I played this. So maybe it changed. You know, who knows, right? But, and obviously we'll review this later on. And I'll give it a solid, fair review. Not based on my past. But as of right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I didn't enjoy it. Just like how I didn't enjoy this stinker. Oh yeah, let me take it out of the fucking plastic. I'm a little stupid. And there's going to be no cuts, by the way, because I don't have editing software, so this full video is getting uploaded like this. Eventually we'll get editing software, guys, don't worry. This is Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. This game is the Dark Souls of the Jaguar, like, game collection. I got into the first level of this game, and you'll see it later on when we review it. I got into the first level, and I couldn't fucking get past the first enemy. The controls suck dick. It's so fucking hard to play. Like, it's just, it's impossible. But it's cool. But it's actually one of the games that has a pretty decent, like, the graphics are pretty decent, you know? Like, I don't know if you can see that, but they're decent. You know, they're not bad. I've definitely seen worse graphics on this system, like Cybermorph. Cybermorph sucks. But, you know, it's also just interesting because it's Bruce Lee. A classic, Club Drive. It's a run-of-the-mill driving game. You know, nothing special. There's nothing really much to say. Kinda shitty. It's hit or miss. Some of the levels are cool. Other levels, you glitch through the fucking map. So, you know, it's the Witcher 3 type shit. Cannon Fodder. Now this right here is this one I actually enjoyed. This game right here, I mean, of course, it's fucking Cannon Fodder. How could you not like Cannon Fodder? This game right here, banger of a game. I loved Cannon Fodder. Like, this shit, it's Cannon Fodder. There's nothing much else you gotta say other than it's Cannon Fodder. You might think we're done. You might think we're done with all the shit. You might have thought that this stack of shit here and the stack of shit that's over there of loose games is all of the shit that has come out of my colon. But let me tell you, I still got a stinker nice and deep and buried in my ass. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out for you guys. I hope you're ready. because right here we have a sealed copy of Checkered Flag. Factory fucking sealed. It's a little like, you can get your fingers in there, you can like slide your shit in there. It's got the plastic hook still at the top. Look at that shit. Still sealed. Still factory sealed and everything. It's all there. Like I said, the only issue is the plastic is coming off a bit on the back, but it still has never been opened. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a deal with you guys. I don't want to open this copy, but if we can get this video to 100 likes, and maybe, let's say 50 subscribers. If we get 50 subscribers and 100 likes on this video, I'll go ahead and open this absolute banger right here in one of the next 5 videos I make. I will open this. I will open this shit. And I don't want to, but I will. I'll open it for you guys on camera, like, so you guys can see what it would have been like to be a kid in the 90s receiving this fucking pile of shit for Christmas. Because this is what I got for Christmas. It's right here. This is my Christmas present. My pride and joy. My beautiful shit. So, you know, I think that's where we're gonna end this video. Let's go ahead and see if we can get to 100 likes, 50 subscribers, and I will open this sealed copy of Checkered Flag for you guys, for your entertainment, so that you guys can see what it would have been like to live in the 90s and open this shit. Your little Christmas present, if you will. So, that's the Atari Jaguar. That's the story. You know, that's some of the games that I own. We'll get to reviewing them in the next episode. I don't know where we'll start. I think we should start with the pack-in title of Cybermorph. But hey, if you guys get this video to enough likes, maybe we'll even open this in the next video. Who knows? So, that's it. This has been Jaguar Jerk signing off. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good night, good day, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. Enjoy your day, or night, or whatever. Sleep good, or have a good morning, or whatever. So, adios. See ya. Bye-bye.